It's November 6th, 2024. I am at Joel Pearl, and it's time to get in the weeds. Yeah. I'm tired. Jeremy Lambert is here.
Allegedly.
We are both tired. I know a lot of people are going to be feeling a lot of different ways today, and I'm just going to start the show by saying we're going to do our best to make this still fun, because that's what we do. We still do morning shows. But also we understand that people are feeling very different ways, and people are going to handle news in very different ways, and we're going to do our best to work with that. So this is my welcome to you. This is my show of appreciation to the people who listen to us and who watch us. It sucks. Sometimes this stuff sucks, but my appreciation to you is extended because we all come out and we all do the jobs that we need to do. And sometimes our job is just talking about wrestling and talking to wrestlers and doing this silly whatever it is. And sometimes it's more than that. But right now we're talking about wrestling, and we're going to do our best to do that and hopefully make this space not only one that continues to be safe for people who are feeling certain ways. Maybe they're feeling uncertain, maybe they're feeling worried, maybe they're feeling angry, and that's another thing you can feel. But we're going to be here because we want to be here, and because we want to support the people who not only are fans of wrestling but are also needing some sort of community. Because if I don't have a community, I ain't got nothing. If I don't have Jeremy, I don't have much. Believe it or not.
That doesn't sound good.
I know. Believe it or not, Jeremy and I, we're still friends.
Nah.
And if I don't have Jeremy and I don't have his don't run with that. But if I don't have his family and I don't have the people around him with me, then I feel a little bit more lost. So I want to say I appreciate the community that we have, and we continue to cultivate that community, and we will do it together continuing on today. Jeremy, NXT and AEW are on tonight. How are you doing?
Not only are NXT and AEW tonight, the WWE financials, TKO financials call. You know those people are going to be in a great mood. So, oh yeah, that's my evening. My evening is covering TKO financials and then NXT and watching AEW while covering NXT. I'm probably covering a little bit of AEW. So that's my evening. I guess that'll be better than last evening. Yeah, last evening was... Look, man, we failed. All right? We failed. We failed women. We failed minorities. We failed human beings. We failed everybody yesterday. That's the only thing I can really put it. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. You know, in 2016, I thought, it won't be so bad. How much is going to happen? And then it wasn't great. And then it just got worse. And somehow it got even worse this year. And I don't know how. I guess I kind of know how. But it's just it's unfortunate. And it's a failure on the entire country. It's a failure on the system. It's a failure to humans. I ain't got a lot of energy today. I'm not going to try to sugarcoat things of like, let me put on this nice happy face and do a fun wrestling show for everybody. Sometimes there's bigger things in life going on than the world of wrestling. Not only everything last night, I've had sick children for the past 2 weeks now. I've gotten very little sleep because I've been covering wrestling. I stayed up last night till 1 for the election stuff, but also like New Japan's making announcements at 1 o'clock in the morning. So like, sure, I'm up covering this. They took away my Saturdays, Joel. You know, one of the kids started soccer. And so I got to get up at 6 a.m. on a Saturday now. I used to get 2 days of like halfway decent sleep, getting to sleep in Saturday and Sunday. They took away Saturday from me on this past Saturday. So that started. I ain't got a lot of energy personally right now with everything going on top of last night, on top of the dread that I feel coming out of last night. If you're with us today, I appreciate it. I apologize to an extent that the show might be a little bit more depressing as usual. At the same time, I don't apologize because we're all human and we're going to go through this how we go about this. If you don't want to listen today, I completely understand. If you do want to listen today and want to escape from things, we appreciate that. We will do our best. Do our best with everything. We do have 2 guests today. We hope to have fun chats starting at 10:30. We got some wrestling to preview and everything, but we failed.
We do have guests, so we're hoping you stick around for that because that'll be fun. Listen, we're gonna have Marz the Specialist.
Maybe let's not like lie to the people.
I mean,
It might not be fun.
I mean, listen, our last conversation with one of these guys was great, and I really like So Marz the Specialist from Love Pro Wrestling. We love the Love Pro Wrestling folks. They are fantastic. And when given the opportunity to speak to their grand champion ahead of a match that he's going to have against Kushida, you say yes to that. So Marz the Specialist joins us at 11:30 East, or sorry, 10:30 Eastern. Almost made big problem myself there. We're going to talk about that match and, of course, all the stuff that LPW has been up to because they are doing really great stuff up here in Canada, in Edmonton, and in Calgary as well sometimes. So looking forward to that conversation. And then Matthew Justice is back. That's right. MLW's Matthew Justice joins us again. We'll talk about Lucha Apocalyptica. We'll talk about MLW. And, maybe we'll get his thoughts on what's going on between FV and Alec Catch because, someone's got to weigh in from that side of things, right? Someone should probably talk about that.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Asking him about that. What else is happening?
I'm just checking my messages because I thought I got something.
No, that's okay.
No, it's okay. It's fine. Yeah, listen, hey, chat, thank you for understanding and for being great. This is going to be fun. People say we're going to have a lot of New York neighbors in a few months. Who knows? I just hope that people who need to fight keep fighting and keep trying their best to figure out what comes next. Fighting is hard, especially when it's for years at a time. You cultivate the right people to fight with, and the fighting doesn't feel so bad. I've done a lot of that in my life, and I hope that you guys continue to as well. How about that? Ken Bruno sent us a super chat, and you can too. Get your question statement read on the air. We always appreciate those. Says everything effing sucks, but we appreciate you guys, and we appreciate you too, Ken, and we appreciate the chat. Thank you. We continue to do this. I woke up this morning. I woke up at 2 a.m, and I said to myself, "Oh shit, how are we going to do this show?" And I don't want to do that show. And you know what? We are. I think we're the other guys, I guess. Busted Open probably started earlier than us. We're the first voices that you're going to hear about with this stuff in the morning, whether it's wrestling or otherwise. Isn't it? I know. Somehow we found our way into that realm of life.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. People saying they could have used NXT last night. That's true. I could use a thumbs up on the video. How about that? That'll make me happy for once. Little things we're going to find a little happiness in. And our guests are going to join us in about 15 minutes. So we won't get too deep into Raw because there are a few things that we can talk about. That'll be fun. But there was some there was some good stuff on Raw after all. I
don't know
enjoyed
if I watched Raw.
Well, you didn't. You watched Riyadh season presented by WWE. Or WWE presented by Riyadh season.
Yeah, like I know I watched it. I had it on. Like I can't recall whatever what happened there.
Oh, there was
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the stuff with Sami. The women's battle royal was really good. We'll talk about all that stuff. And again, the biggest question coming out of Raw is Miz dead?
Yeah, that was something. I like that video package. That was cool. The bringing in back the Miz Taraj and the B team footage and everything, and Miz being the target. I know people have different feelings with the Wyatt 6 stuff. The fact that it's so scaled back, and what I mean by scaled back is it's not like an overwhelming presence on the show. Like maybe it should be based on how they debuted and everything, but the fact that like they're not putting so much out there like, I actually think works to their advantage. I think this thing dies quicker if it's a weekly thing where they're on TV and they're live every single week. I don't think it has much staying power if they did that. Like, it's almost overexposure if you do that with this group. That's sort of what happened with Bray. What happened with Bray was also like they put the title on him, made him indestructible, and then you didn't really have a way out of that. But I like that they're not being overexposed. Like, they are, oh, you kidnapped them. That was like an off screen. They're doing a lot of social stuff because Raw's only 2 hours now. So they're putting a lot of stuff on social media. But them doing the kidnapping kind of off screen, and then they did the video on Monday. It was just a short little thing. And I don't know if you saw the Karrion Kross video where he did like the drawing, and then people theorized that part of the drawing was Bray. Like, he showed that as a little wink and a nod type thing. Like, I think it's good stuff that it's not so prevalent, and some of it is living online, because that's how it all started, with the QR codes. Go online, crack the code, all that stuff. Like what did I say before they debuted? I don't want them wrestling at all. And they've done fine in the ring. It's not like the matches have been bad or anything. But I think these little short 2-minute videos are kind of what they're best at. They're well produced. They get people talking, and I think it's good that it's not such an overwhelming presence on the show. So I like that video.
Yeah, I did too, actually. I really enjoyed a lot of what you're saying. I agree with, because the coolest thing about the Wyatt Six this time around is that they're not going for titles, and that they completely went away from, they show up and then 6 months later they're hungry for gold. That's what they did to Bray Wyatt. They brought him in at SummerSlam 2019. By the end of the year,
you keep pushing the title agenda with them, and I'm just like, no.
And that's why I've backed off, because I said eventually they're going to try and do it. That doesn't mean I'm a fan of it. That doesn't mean I'm a proponent for that. I'm just saying that that's something that historically was done with Bray. They brought him in, and like I said, less than 6 months later, he held the WWE, the Universal Championship, and then he fought the Miz. So clearly we're going down the same stretch again. No, I don't think so. But the Miz being involved in this makes sense in terms of slotting people on the card who are more kind of actor based. I'm not saying that the Miz is an actor, but I'm more saying
Miz
that
is an actor. He's been in many films.
You're right. He does have credits. But the point is, you're using a guy who's not going after titles every time. Like the Miz slots in wherever, and this is one place where he slots in very well, where it's an inconsequential storyline when it comes to titles, but it's consequential when it comes to the storytelling that they're trying to do. And I really appreciate that. And then the Karrion Kross stuff, listen, we called them dorks for so long. We didn't talk about their name. We call them the TikTokers. Like, we don't take them seriously. This is the first time where I've looked at the story and been like, they're figuring out how people feel about this group and what they're useful for. And what they're useful for is making Karrion Kross like half comedy, half serious. He's using his drawing abilities. He's using socials. If he's using socials to get this over, I think it's fantastic. And he's continuing to make it entertaining too, which is something you need on your program. So the first hotel room one, where they talk about, he's drawing, and all of a sudden Scarlett comes in and says he was kidnapped, and it was like, how long ago? It's like 10 minutes. Oh, he's dead. Like, it was just a deadpan reaction from Karrion Kross. Stuff like that I like. And I can keep doing that because you can run it on socials. It's that extra little sauce that makes the story fun. And otherwise, it's just, you have the Wyatt side of the story, and then the Kross side, which is Kross just kind of making it into it's about him and not giving a shit about anyone else. It's perfect. Like, they're doing a good job. So I don't know how long they're going to go with this, with the Miz and the Wyatt Six. And obviously this all ends up with the Wyatts beating the Miz, I guess, because they're righting every wrong. But how long can you stretch that out? I could bring that all the way to, I don't know, Saturday night's main event, and then just let that be the end of the year for the Wyatts. Let them come back in the Royal Rumble. Don't know why, if they're not going for title shots, but have them show up in the Rumble and move on from there. But I could see them going for at least Saturday night's main event.
Oh, they're gonna face Final Testament. It's not just the Miz. At some point, they're gonna face Final Testament as well. Like, yeah, Miz might be the target, but clearly Final Testament has something to do with this. Kross did the drawing of Bray. It was that wasn't his main intention. The main intention was the other drawing that he did on the riddle. I forgot the name of it. But like he still showed the photo of Bray. Like it was very clear that was supposed to be something. Cross said that this was a while ago, but he and Bray were supposed to work together going into Mania. That was supposed to, like, that was an idea that was gonna happen. And then I know Bray was kind of doing the thing with Lashley, and it looked like that was where they were going. Unfortunately, Bray got sick. But Cross very clearly had some type of connection to Bray, and the stuff he does on TV fits in the Wyatt universe. So they're gonna work Wyatt in Final Testament at some point. This is gonna be a long thing. I don't think they're gonna wrap this up anytime soon. You think of when the Wyatts debuted, that was after SummerSlam, right? Show after SummerSlam? Was it August?
I can't remember anymore. No, was it? No, it was Fort Worth. Was it after Money in the Bank? It may have been after Money in the Bank.
Okay. No, that's why it's 6 make their first entrance. Oh, their in-ring debut was August. June 7th. Apparently June 17th was. Jeez, was it really that long ago?
Jeez, okay. That was a long time ago. My God.
Okay, so here's the thing. Their debut was June 17th. Their in-ring debut was August 5th. Like, they can stretch this out. The end of the feud with American Made was let me look this up right fast. It was that street fight. That was really good. It was that whole gimmick. That was September 9th. So they debuted in June. They had their blow off and they killed Uncle. They didn't kill Uncle. They killed Chad Gable. That was June, mid-June. Their blow off with that whole thing was 3 months later. They're gonna stretch out this Miz and Final Testament story. This thing might go all the way till Rumble. Honestly, it might. Pitch Black, Mountain Dew Pitch Black match at Rumble. Let's go.
Miz is going to enter the Rumble and say, I'm going to win. And then all Wyatt members are going to show up one by one, and Miz eliminates them all one by one. He does this like Stone Cold in the Rumble 97 style, just one after another. And then he checks his watch and he does the thing. And then out comes Uncle Howdy as the last one. And he does that from the top rope. He does the same thing. With
great, actually.
I would love to see
roll.
Stone Cold Miz.
They should bring that spot back. Honestly, it's been a while since they've done that. You got to do it with a heel you're trying to like really get over.
No, there's only one guy who's going to do that. And you knew exactly who it is.
Who? I don't know.
They can do
it. Punk, I mean, yeah, but like Punk doing like the shocked face. He's not a heel right now. If he turns heel again, then that's when you do it. So I was actually thinking someone different, but still connected to Punk. I was thinking like Seth could do it. Seth did an interview with the Pivot. It was a really good interview. It's like an hour long, and he talked about and we've talked about this on the show. WWE is a babyface company right now. All the top guys are all baby faces.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
I know.
Yeah. Cody, Seth, Punk, Roman, Randy, like they got a lot of top baby faces right now. And even Seth is like, I'm looking around and we need some good heels. I'm like, yeah, y'all do. Like they're making some people, but yeah, y'all, there needs to be a bigger contingent of heels here. So I don't know if Seth is gonna turn, because the Punk and Seth feud isn't really a babyface heel dynamic. It's a who you believe is right and who you believe is wrong dynamic, similar to Drew and Punk, but Drew was very much more clearly portrayed as the heel, or supposed to be the heel, in that where Seth and Punk, I don't think it's going to be quite as clear. Kevin Owens actually could pull that off. Kevin Owens to eliminating people, taking people out, and then like he puts Orton on the shelf at Saturday night's main event, and then all of a sudden I Hear Voices plays, at Rumble, and then Kevin does the big. Yeah, Kevin Owens could actually pull that off really well.
That's a good idea.
He'd already does the stunner anyway. So there we go. There you go, Kevin. We'll pitch that and give you the Steve Austin Rumble spot for this year.
And if there's one thing that Kevin Owens can do, it's act like his hero, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Kevin Owens can do a lot of things. He pretty much rules.
He does. Can't wait for him to continue to break out from whatever he's doing right now, because it's really fun stuff. I'm looking forward to SmackDown on Friday, because they'll definitely have what to do with the KO and Randy stuff. They did not really address it on Raw, so I'm guessing they're just going to save it for SmackDown. Does Adam Pearce show up and just be like, what the hell was that? Or like,
Adam Pearce needs to, what I say on Monday, mind his own damn business. Stop it, Adam Pearce. Knock your shit off. Stay on Raw. You got enough going on.
He's too busy looking for a drink because he's dealing with the women's division and getting upset about it. But I think like they killed the Miz, though. Like that's really what it all comes back to.
Dead, I don't think.
Well, you know, you had Dexter Lumis run up behind him and like go to snap his neck, and
we don't know that. It could have just been giving him a massage.
Fair. It was a very gentle. It actually turns out that Miz is the next member of the Wyatt Six, because he got, it was a massage. He talked them into it. He's their new leader. And
could you imagine Miz in this group? Kind of rule, actually.
Oh, he's got the black suit and it's the black leather suit with the black leather shirt and the black leather tie. Who did that? Was that that had to have been a Seth thing?
Yeah, that sounds like Seth.
He showed up in like a full-on leather suit. But he's got
Bobby freaking Lashley. I feel like he had a full leather suit on last week.
He did, and all I could say was, "You're gonna sweat your way out of that thing. That's gross." Say bye to the Miz. Say hello to the Maz.
The Miz would commit. I don't know how good it'd be, but he would freaking commit to it 100%.
It's the Miz with dreads.
Oh, that would rule.
Could you imagine? He's just out there. But it's not dreads. It's that really questionable, you know, that Rastafarian hat that people would wear, the Jamaican hat, where it'd be like, it would have the fake dreads coming out of it. He'd wear that and think it's okay. And then you just have a bunch of fans being like, maybe not that, Miz. And he's like, what's wrong with it? And that's how the Miz would get kicked out of the Wyatt Six. And then the Wyatt Six had to beat him up again. You were very helpful, Miz. Should we get to the super chat?
Go for it.
Why not? Well, Chisholm sent a super chat saying, "Turn Mysterio heel, Rey Mysterio heel." And that would work. So that worked so well in WCW. I will talk about that in a second. Do y'all see Stephanie Vaquer, Julia Delta, or Jordan Grace in the Rumble? Yes, to at least 3 of those names. Jordan Grace is absolutely. Whoever's the NXT Women's Champion, maybe not between Vaquer and Julia. Delta, I could see, especially if they have Rhea Ripley around, so that they could do a little face-off / partner up, whatever it is, just to tease like they're still friends, or they're still, you know, they're from the same areas. They're Australian. What's the countrymen, whatever. Yeah, I can see that. Rey Mysterio in WCW. Okay, they kind of turned him heel, but he was cool heel, and he was unmasked, so it wasn't really Rey Mysterio. It was Filthy Animal.
Yeah,
I would not unmask Rey Mysterio, because that was like the smartest and dumbest thing, because it refreshed his character, but it didn't need to happen. But it gave Mysterio a chance to be a little different, and then he was kind of like Conan's little buddy, which like wasn't so effective. I didn't hate the unmasked Rey Mysterio years. I actually thought that there were moments where it was really cool. He was doing stuff that was like really different and like more about Latino culture and the rap and wrestling experience. There was some cool stuff in there, but like I didn't hate it. That being said, when he came back to WWE and he had the mask, that shit was right. That was the way it should have been, and they should never unmask him, because you make a ton of money from that gimmick.
I went to a WCW show where I think Ray faced Kevin Nash. When he beat Kevin Nash, it was like the week after or something. I don't remember what else was on the show. I'm actually trying to look it up to see what was on this day. It was the Unmasked Rey Mysterio. So he beat him on the February 22nd, 1999. That was in California. It was not at that show.
Was that Super Brawl? Because that was around when he got unmasked. It was Super Brawl.
Did he get unmasked at Super Brawl?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
it
he
was
got
at
unmasked at Super Brawl.
Yeah, and then they just ran a bunch of house shows with that match again.
No. This was a Nitro.
Oh, this was a Nitro. They just played
Yeah.
it again.
Yeah. So this was Ray and Nash. The night after Super Brawl, he beat Kevin Nash. It was
Gotcha.
unmasked, and they did a rematch at Uncensored. But I was at the, I think I was at the show. I'm trying to look and see, like where it might have been, because they were in California for Super Brawl and then Nitro after. I was not in California, but I feel like they came back to the East Coast shortly after that, and I was at one of those shows. I'm trying to just look at. I wish you could go on Cage Match and like a next show thing, like if I could click to go to the next show, but I can't do that, so it becomes a little bit more difficult to look up where this actually was. I guess I can see when Ray wrestled in Virginia. I don't know if he wrestled on the show that I was at, though. That's the other issue.
Yeah, he may have just come out and did a thing.
Yeah. So if he doesn't wrestle, it's not gonna show up on Cage Match. Riveting conversation here.
That's the way it's supposed to be. Riveting conversations that we have. Senior Nerd said he looked like a freaking 12-year-old when he unmasked. Yeah, he did. He really did. Yeah. But then you give him the horns and it was perfect. Little known fact, that's where Roosh got the idea for El Toro Blanco.
Horns. Horns. I like that, like Shavani even says it now. He's like, you get the horns.
Gotta lean into the bit, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh god, the horns. Yeah, the question about who would show up in the Rumble from NXT, definitely like 3 out of 4 of those women will be there. It's an opportunity to give them a showcase. It's a big stadium event. There's no reason not to. And I'm guessing that NXT will have something around that time of a PLE or at least some sort of special. And then those women would come over and have a spot in the Rumble. Why not? Then put them on Raw the next night.
I imagine they'll be on in the Rumble. I don't know how many of them, but I imagine we'll see them in the Rumble. And then I don't know if they're going to be called up after that. Roxanne's been in the Rumble the past couple of years. She hasn't been called up, so it doesn't mean it's a call up. It just mainly means like, hey, we got a lot of good talent here. Let's put them in the Rumble.
Well, I have a lot of good talent too, and if our guest is ready, they can give us a thumbs up and we can get to work. Oh, let's go. Very excited now. Very much looking forward to having a good conversation, a good chat with the Love Pro Wrestling Grand Champion. He faces Kushida Friday, November 22nd at the Rec Room in Edmonton, the Rec Room South. We welcome to the show now, Marz the Specialist. Good morning.
How you boys doing?
Oh, we're well. How are you?
I'm doing very good, you said. Thank you.
Jeremy, go ahead.
I would say we appreciate you joining us. Talk to us about facing Kushida coming up.
Oh man, it's when I was told this was the plan, it was a little bit mind blowing because this is a guy I've watched for years. Back when he was in NXT, maybe in TNA, in New Japan. So it's kind of surreal, but I'm very excited. I love a challenge. I love being able to do new things. I love facing new opponents. So something like that, it just excites me more than anything, to be honest.
So when you got the word that it was happening, was it applause and adulation, or was it shit, I gotta face Kushida and defend my championship now?
Oh, it was definitely applause. It was definitely adulation. It was excitement. Like I tweeted out right afterwards. I'm not really. Maybe when I get closer to, I'll be nervous. But right now, I'm not nervous. I'm not scared. I'm just very excited to have a challenge like him.
I want to ask about a recent match you had against Blake Christian, and I mainly want to ask because have you seen like the meme with Blake Christian, the video edit that goes around with him?
I'm not sure if I have to.
Oh, okay. I'm pretty sure he put this together. At least that's the rumor that he has done this. It's a very well edited thing that he puts together. There's a lot of discourse about Blake Christian because some people like his style and the athleticism that he displays, and other people like, why are you doing 15 flips to get into a hammerlock? What is the purpose of all this? What was your experience working with Blake Christian though?
That is probably top 5 matches in my career. I had a blast with him. He pushed me to a place that a lot of people have not been able to push me to. I remember my buddy, my tag partner, the Short King, Reed Matthews, came up to me afterwards, like, this is one of the guys who actually keep up with you, which I was very pleased that he was able to say to me because he thinks highly of me, which I appreciate. He works a style I really like, actually. Obviously, I don't do as many flips as him. I'm not as flippy as that, but being able to have someone super fast, super athletic, while also being super knowledgeable, it was a very fun challenge for me.
They're calling the show Love Pro Wrestling 32. They numbered them. And then, of course, there's always something fun, like a tagline to a song. And I appreciate the team at LPW for doing that because I'm a musician. And this one's called Anyway, Here's Wonderwall. So the question, Marz, what's your favorite Oasis song?
So I'm not I won't lie, I'm not the biggest Oasis follower. It probably is Wonderwall as a basic answer. It's probably what I know the best.
Okay, Barry Wonderwall instead, or Barry Oasis instead. You could do that too.
I'm sorry. It's, a lot of the posters that LPW do, like I know some of them obviously, but like I've not kept up like the punk. A lot of the older ones were punk based, and you know, I when I listen to songs, I like them, but like there's not bands that I really follow as much, I'm afraid.
So what do you follow? What's your music of choice?
I'm much more of like a heavy metal type of guy. Like Disturbed's my favorite band. If you look at my older matches, my theme song was "What Are You Waiting For" by Disturbed. Five Finger Death Punch, Sabaton, no stuff like that. Metallica.
Yeah, you're up my alley now.
I was about to say I'm checking out on this conversation right now. I'm going to a musical festival in I don't even know when, but it's like
in May.
Thank you. I'm glad you know that my social life. But there's like 20 bands and it's all like punk or not punk, like heavy metal rock. And I am preparing for the worst. I'm very afraid of what I'm getting myself into. I didn't know if we still had the overlay of like the list of bands on here that I could pull up and show Marz here of who, but Metallica is like the headliner. So that tells you
2 nights.
What's that?
They're headlining 2 of the nights. They're doing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're headlining the night I'm going to.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I gotta figure that out. I remember what it was, and now I forgot. Sonic Temple Festival. That's what it was.
Yeah, Sonic Temple Festival. I don't know if you've heard of that, Marz, but yeah, they did. I don't even know who's playing on.
4 days. You've got Korn, Metallica, Linkin Park, and then Metallica. Those are the 4-night headliners. You've got Rob Zombie on there. You got Alice in Chains, Alice Cooper, Testament, Exodus, Overkill, Seven Dust is there, Alien Ant Farm is there, so y'all can go watch them. There's a whole bunch of bands. Trivium's there, Acid Bath. I know that's a shout out for someone who really likes the band. There's good stuff.
That sounds like a blast, actually. Oh my god.
Let's go. We'll get you booked in Ohio that weekend, and then we can go to the concert together.
Yeah, it's in like Columbus, so make a trek down here.
Let's go.
I will be there. I don't know any of these songs, but I'm going, and I'm gonna wear a Taylor Swift shirt, and hopefully that doesn't get me too many looks. Marz, have you heard of Creep? Have you heard Creep by Smashing Pumpkins?
Don't know off the top of my head. Why do you ask? You sound so excited.
Worst bet ever. Oh god. You know what? I don't want to do this anymore. Marz, I want to talk to you about possession on a pole. What is a possession on a pole match, and what the heck were you doing in it? Please tell us.
Are you referring to myself or Reed Matthews in the contract on a pole match? Is that what you're referring to?
Yes, they're calling it possession on a pole.
I did not realize it was labeled out online. It was our contract on a pole match. It was basically the story was I filed Reed's taxes to TFA, Tariff from Accounting, which he was not happy about. He owed money, and then we came to a deal with Tariff from Accounting. Waive all that, but we'd have to wrestle. Whoever lost would have to pay not their taxes, but like give the fans an item that belongs to them. I ended up winning, but I signed it under the Short Kings instead of just I won. So we both ended up owing. So we both had to give the fans what we wanted to give them, and we both gave them Mars bars.
Oh, Mars bars! This is why I love wrestling. And not just the promotion, but also wrestling in general. This is the shit that you have to get out there. Filing taxes, folks, is what you need more stories of in your professional wrestling.
Really, that was all an accident. That was me and Reed making our Short Kings videos, and then it became what it became.
What was it like wrestling? You team with the Short Kings here. What was it like wrestling at the Ice Palace? I know that was a big deal for Love Pro Wrestling. So what was that experience like?
That, oh man, I don't know if it was the coolest moment of life, but like when it comes to my career, that was like top 3 probably. It was such a surreal experience. Standing in the middle of the ring, like usually you have your crowd, you have like your ringside seat, you have your the bleachers. But then, like, you look around the mall and you have the top level and you have like hundreds of people just standing there watching. That was surreal. That was really cool. And I was able to share the ring with a lot of my favorite people in LPW. You know, Stephen Crow, probably my greatest rival, the Intangible Short Kings, 2 of my best friends, Michael Richard Blaze, greatest Canadian wrestler, and the Terror from County, another one I really look up to. So just being able to share the ring with those people in the main event of our biggest show in that building, it doesn't get much better than that for me.
Same question, but with the Oil Rumble, working at an NHL-sized arena during a hockey game, and like you're out there wrestling professionally in front of hockey fans. Like, what's that experience like? Because not many people get to say they've had that.
That's one of the other top 3 moments. That was also really cool. And like you said, it was very different because you're not in front of a lot of wrestling fans. So you gotta like sell them on like what wrestling is, as well as just like fight your opponents. So that was super cool. I was able to share the ring with the Rads, Jack Pride. That's a whole deal. But that was super cool. That was a blast. And like just the way we had it set up and just the way it looked, the way it felt, a lot of things can't beat that.
Are you a hockey fan?
I follow it loosely. I think I'm so into wrestling, it just like puts blinders on to a lot of other sports and things in my life.
Okay, fair enough. We won't go down hockey road then. I completely blanked on my next question. I apologize.
You're all good.
We had an interesting one from one of our chatters, Zeno Hour, asking about the WWE ID program. And you're an independent wrestler. You're out there. You're working. When you heard about this, I'm curious to hear from independent wrestlers about a program like this and if it has any benefit in a place like Canada, because right now, obviously, it's in the U.S. exclusively.
I was actually about to say that. Like, I don't know if my opinion's different than maybe some of the wrestlers in the U.S. because I'm in Canada. I'm like, oh, maybe this doesn't like affect me as much as some of the people in the States. I can get some people being like wary, especially if NXT UK kind of like took out a lot of indie wrestlers from the indie scene and put them just in WWE. I can get the wariness. From my perspective, as someone who like grew up watching WWE and that being like the main goal, for me, that's something that I'm actually excited for. The fact that they're looking more into indie talent again. The fact that like they're helping develop and helping fund indie talent to be able to do this. So for me, I think it's a plus, but I can get the wariness from fans and like other people.
Okay, yeah, he's been in our chat. I'm pretty sure it's him. We've had a nice conversation here. I don't know if he's actually watching or not. Can you say mean things about Spencer Love?
Come on, Barry Spencer.
Oh no, we've frozen. I don't know if he heard me.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm currently using a Wi-Fi from a restaurant.
Oh, okay. Well, can you say mean things about Spencer Love?
Okay.
I'm gonna say I'm guessing the answer is no. He cannot say mean things about Spencer Love.
He cannot say mean things about Spencer Love. Spencer. Sorry, I my thing lagged for a little bit, so I said mean things about Spencer Love, and I was like, okay. I even outside wrestling, me and Spencer are pretty close friends. We have a lot of similar likes and interests. When it comes to wrestling, like everyone makes mistakes, and I understand like Spencer wasn't in the wrestling business beforehand, so I can see why some people would think wrongly about him. I can see that. But he has a collection of people who like point him in the right direction and tell him how the business works. And just as a person, he has such a gold heart. So yeah, everyone makes mistakes, but he means well, and he's one of the nicest people on earth. So that's what I'll say.
We love Spencer. He's always very supportive of us. We try to support him as much as we can. But I like trying to get people to say mean things about Spencer because he's like the nicest dude ever. And sometimes you just gotta like you gotta I don't know, knock him down a little bit because that seems very mean to say. But sometimes you gotta show that it's not always sunshine and rainbows with Spencer. You gotta say mean things to humble him a little bit, so that way he kept in check. He gets it. He needs to be kept in check. Thank you, Spencer. I'm struggling today. It's been a.
I love that the guy you're trying to bury is the guy who's currently helping you with the burial.
Yeah, this is why Spencer rules. This is why I love Spencer.
No one will bury Spencer more than himself. That is true.
That is true. I've had enough time in hotel rooms and airports to tell you the same. Oh God, Marz, before we let you go, we have a little game that we play on the channel. It's called Partner, Promo, or Punch in the Face. I'm going to give you 3 people that you have experience with, and you're going to pick which one you want to partner with in a tag team match, which one you want to promo with in the ring, have a one-on-one on the mic, and which one you want to punch in the face and have a singles match. Some of this might be easy, some of it might be hard, but are you ready?
Oh, I'm excited. Let's go. Let's do it.
All right, here are your 3 people. We've got Kushida, Blake Christian, and Zoe Sager.
Ooh, that's interesting. I think promo, I'll go Blake Christian. I think that would be a fun promo off. Just me and him shooting blurbs back and back. Punch in the face, I'll go Kushida. Not like a disrespectful way. I do just really want to wrestle him. And then partners always say you're really intangible short kings,
There you go. We did it. You're going to face off against Kushida for the grand championship that you hold over at Love Pro Wrestling 32. Anyways, here's the wall. It's going to be at the Rec Room South Edmonton. Go check it out. Get your season tickets. Get the tickets for the show. Get involved with Love Pro Wrestling. Marz, put yourself over and tell people where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Marz Specialist. You can find my pro wrestling team, Marz the Specialist. Facebook, Marz the Specialist. You can look up the Short Kings on YouTube at the Short Kings YouTube. I think that's it. That's all. Catch me at Clandestine Wrestling Society and LPW later this month.
There we go. The one and only Marz the Specialist. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Good luck to you on this
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Marz.
Marz the Specialist. My God, what a great conversation.
That was very fun.
He's got to keep that title, though.
I apologize to Marz and to the audience. That was not my best. I'm struggling this morning, very much struggling. But he was great. He powered through that with me and with us. But yeah, it's not been my best day.
Yeah, but I'm going to absolutely find a way for him to bury Spencer on the air, or at least at a show. And then we'll get it on the mic and then we'll put it up on the show. Like, we'll do it. Marz will do it. I swear to God. But you're okay. Listen, 15 minutes from now, we're going to have another guest. How about that? How about Matthew Justice joins us from MLW? He was on the show a few weeks ago when he re-signed his deal with MLW. We talked to him then. We're going to talk to him again. What are we going to talk to him about? Shit, I don't know, but we're going to figure it out.
We're just going to ask Matthew like a day-by-day breakdown of everything he's done in the last 2 weeks since the last time he's been on the show.
I think
that's how we're going to do.
Be like, what are you doing here? And he'll be like, I don't know, what are you doing here?
How you been since 2 weeks ago? What'd you have for breakfast? Everything been good?
How's the dog? How's the dog?
It'll be fine. Matthew's a fun conversation. Maybe we can talk to him about the show that I'm going to in May. Maybe
he'll be all in on that. Tell him
he's
going. Yeah,
he can give me some advice because I don't think I was going to this show since the last time we talked to him. Let me pull up this lineup here. What's it called? Sonic Temple Festival. All right, I'm gonna get the graphic so I can show him and be like, "This is what I'm going to." Please give me advice.
May 8th through the 11th.
Allegedly
in Columbus. And it looks like great. I love this lineup. There's so much good shit here. There's a hotel pass and perks deal.
Oh, I'm not doing all that. I'm just going for the day. You know, we're
I'm
not
almost tempted
sleeping
to ask my
around.
friend if I want to go if he wants to come with me, or he'll be there. But anyway, Tenriza sends a super chat saying, "Was wanting to get back to LA and go to New York City here from Australia. Don't think that'll be happening for a little while now. I'll do Toronto. Love you. See you in the new year. Maybe a little earlier if you want." Tenriza, if you end up in Toronto, let me know. You're always welcome to. Well, not stay with me because I'm not doing that. But
Wow.
say what the people who stay with me are the people I know. But
Fair.
if you want to say hi, we can say hi. How about that? We'll probably be at the same wrestling shows. Who am I kidding? You know that Steve Macklin's coming to Toronto next week?
Really?
Yeah, he's coming for the Northern Crown show, and the show is, I shit you not, 10 minutes from my door.
Are you gonna go?
I told him I'm gonna pull up.
Yeah, you should go.
He
We
just
love
laughed.
Macklin.
We do love Macklin on this show. Actually, on TNA now he's a babyface, so I guess you love him too.
Yeah,
It's
we
entirely
love
possible.
Macklin. Oh, thank Mars is in the chat. Thank you for
Man.
joining us, Mars. We appreciate it. Again, I apologize. I'm not at my best today. Not at my best today. So
It's a bit of a rough day
that's
for
on me.
folks. But we said we give the content. We said we give a little bit of levity and some fun. We want to thank Marz the Specialist for joining us. Listen, man, Short Kings.
Go listen to Creep by Smashing Pumpkins.
And then go listen to our interview with Billy Corgan from months ago, where we talked about cocaine. I think the NWA is coming back, baby.
Yeah, we did talk about that.
One of the first questions was that. My goodness. Where are we now?
What are we doing on this show today?
I'm gonna get this one out of the way, Tenriza, because you did ask. Not to bring things down more, but Vince might go free. Vince has got to be indicted first. Vince has to be, things have to go through the legal system for anything to go free or for him to get pardoned or anything like that. I know there's a lot of doom and gloom conversation about that. As of right now, nothing can happen until something does happen. So right now we're in the nothing's happening. That publicly.
Yeah, we shall see. We shall see.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you think we can just do a whole musical conversation with Matthew Justice? I won't have much to add.
I mean, I'd be fine with that. I'd love to.
What if we'll talk about MLW? We'll make sure we hit our marks there. And what if we talk no wrestling the rest of the interview with Matthew Justice? Do you think we pull this off?
We can probably do that.
What other topics do you think we could hit with it?
Best concert you've ever seen.
Okay.
I'm
gonna stalk his timeline here and see if there, we get some movies going. Let's learn about Matthew Justice, the person, outside of wrestling.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, because we just talked to him.
Yeah,
we just talked to him about wrestling. Hey, we can obviously talk more about wrestling, but we just did that. So we're gonna learn about Matthew Justice, the person, up close and personal with Matthew Justice.
My God, we're gonna get up there, aren't we?
This is gonna be the thing. He's facing Bad Dude Tito at Lucha Apocalypto. It's a Falls Count Anywhere match. That stems from their fight at Pit Fighters, I believe.
Okay.
So
is it a specialty match? Did you say?
It's a Falls Count Anywhere match.
Oh, okay.
Matthew Justice doesn't do normal matches. We've established that.
That is a very good point. Why isn't there a dumpster involved?
Yeah, he beat Jesus Rodriguez at Pit Fighters, and now I think Jesus is bringing Bad Dude Tito to serve some justice here.
We should ask him if he's never not bled in a match, New York notwithstanding, or outside of states where you can't bleed because of sanctions, because of state athletic commissions. Have you never bled in a match? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, we can ask him that. We do have the War Games match to talk about from GCW. That was a fun time. So I am curious about his thoughts on that. We actually have plenty to talk about with Matthew, even though it's just on. But we are going to talk some music. So, which Fast and Furious character does he relate most to? That's good. I like that. We'll get his thoughts on Fast and Furious.
It's gonna happen. Him and his snake photo. No, it's not him.
What?
No, I'm just going through his stuff. I'm going through his socials. Oh, Metallica and Lady Gaga. Let's go.
Oh, we'll play. I got the photo pulled up here, so we'll look at this there. Hopefully, you can read all these bands that are gonna be there, and he'll have to tell me. He'll have to give me some tips on like he might go. I feel like he's from the Ohio.
He's an
area.
Ohioan.
Yeah, I was saying
he's
he
know
might
that.
be there. So yeah.
Followed by any of my friends, by one non-wrestling friend, and that's very funny.
All right.
With
We'll
us.
have a fun conversation with Matthew. He'll join us in about 8 minutes from now. What else are we going to talk about on this?
We still got stuff about Raw to talk
Film
about,
show.
but I don't know if we could do it in 8 minutes because we still have to do the thumbnail chat, which is the feeling Uzi stuff.
Yeah. You know, let's talk about. So I tried to distract myself last night with everything going on.
Probably a good idea. Did you?
You know what? You know what's actually somehow better for my mental health than what was happening last night is sports. So I was like, hey, let me watch the Avs. The Avs are playing. This will be good. It was like they won 6-3. Arturi Lehkonen back. Happy to see him back. And then Cale McCarr gets hurt, man. I was like, can we just not? Can we not deal with all of these injuries? Everybody's injured, and we get somebody back, and then Cale gets hurt. Oh, it had the dumbest review. Nobody's listening to this chat right now. They're like, what the fuck's Jeremy talking about hockey for? So here's what happened, Joel. You're a hockey guy. You'll
I am.
understand this. You know they can review for. Yeah, they suck on the road. The Senators.
Oh, so bad.
You know they can. You know they can review like for offsides in hockey, right?
So I've heard.
Yeah. So you know, like if there's a goal that happens, we can challenge to see if the play was offsides, and then the goal doesn't stand, right? So they have score on a power play like a minute after they enter the zone because they set up the power play, blah, 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 blah. It's like a minute later, right? And then who'd they play last night? Oh, man. Completely just blanking on who they actually... Seattle. They played Seattle. So Seattle challenges for an offside review. It's very clearly offside, by the way. So the Avs score... They review for offside. It was clearly offside. There's not much debate to be had about it. And the referee gets on the microphone and he's like, hey, no goal, offside. He didn't say like, hey, but he's like, after reviewing the play, the player entered the zone before he had possession of the puck. Therefore, the play is offside, no goal. Okay, cool. They go back to the bench and everything. So then there's another delay because they're trying to figure out where the face-off is. So then they're trying to put the face-off on the Seattle side of the blue line because it's like, well, it's an intentional offside. And the Avs are arguing like, hey, no, the face-off should be on our side of the blue line because it wasn't an intentional offside. It's just a regular offside play. So the referees are trying to debate all this, and they're going back and forth. And then the Avs player is telling the referee, hey, if that wasn't offside, that shouldn't count as offside. And everyone's like, huh? What? Why? This is very clearly offside. But here's what happened, Joel. So it was an Avs power play, and Seattle was on a shorthanded rush. The Seattle player shot the puck, and it missed the net completely. And it went over the net, and it rimmed all the way around the boards and went into the zone where Arturi Lehkonen was. I feel like I'm freezing. Okay. Am I here? Am I good?
Yeah, you're fine. You're here.
Okay. So it went into the zone where Arturi Lehkonen was. He was still in the offensive zone when the puck came to him. So he just gathered the puck and started the play. And apparently that's on offsides because Seattle shot the puck. Seattle shot the puck on goal, missed the net, missed the goal. The puck rimmed all the way around to their own zone. Lehkonen was already in the zone. But they're just like, well, that's not offsides because he didn't receive the pass from an Avs player. He was just already in the zone. So they reviewed it again. And then they came back and they said, well, Seattle basically shot the puck into their own zone. That's not really Lehkonen's fault. So it's not offsides. It was a 20-minute review to everyone. I'm trying to explain this to the wife. And she's like, sure, if you say so. I've never seen something this absurd, but apparently it's not offsides if the opposing player shoots the puck into their own zone and the team is already established in the zone. like, if you understand hockey, maybe you understand all of that. If you don't understand hockey, I just wasted 4 minutes of your time trying to explain all of this. As a hockey fan who's been watching for well over 20 years, this was absolutely absurd to me. Absurd that this was a thing. But it is, and it was a good goal, which was nice. But man, I didn't understand. I was cackling during all of this, and the wife was like, what's so funny? Did they score? And I'm like, so here's what happened. Like, the Avs scored. She's like, yeah, didn't that happen like 20 minutes ago? Because the goal horn's very loud. And I'm like, yeah, they scored like 20 minutes ago. And she's like, they haven't played since then. I was like, no, here's why. And she's like, I don't understand any of this, but I'm happy that the Avs have scored. I was like, thank you.
Sens lost 5-1.
Yeah, they suck on the road. I told you.
Yeah, they were playing against the Sabres, and then at one
Also
point,
not a good team.
Also not a good team. And at one point, there's a message from Michael J. Straw, friend of the show, and he says, I need a distraction. Somebody give me a distraction in relation to last night. And I said, the team you hate is currently winning. Go watch the game. And then both of my teams lost last night. Sens lost, the Ducks lost. I can't be happy with hockey. It's over. It's absolutely over.
It's still early. You know?
Yeah, but we've been seeing that for a long time. We said a lot of that last night.
The Ducks weren't going to be good. Going to be good. That was always like that team wasn't just going to be good. The Sens, that team was supposed to be good, I think.
Well, they're still a young team with new ownership, new coach, new lots of things. There's a lot going on that they're going to need some time. But the Ducks, yeah, listen, they're not going to be what they used to be, almost 20 years ago or about 15 years ago. Samuelis need to sell the team, but that's just my opinion. I've stopped paying attention to the Ducks beyond when they're doing well. At this point, I can't stay up late for a game for them. I can't be bothered because they're not producing. So why would I care?
The Sens traded for the Bruins goalie though, and that was supposed to be like, oh, now we got a goaltender. Now we're good. So they're supposed to be good.
Yeah, well, I know someone who is good. Because as he puts in his ear pods, is he ready for us? He's gonna give us a thumbs up when he is ready. He's great. He's got to charge them. See, this is the best part about live television, and by live television, I mean live YouTubing. Is that anything can happen in a moment?
This show should not be on television.
Oh, could you imagine if this show was on TV? It would be the biggest bomb of a show in the world. But our guest is here, and our guest is ready. Thumbs up from him, and we're good to go. Let's go. He's back. He's gonna face Bad Dude Tito at Lucha Apocalyptico this Saturday in Chicago for MLW Lucha Apocalyptico, which is what I said. It's for the MLW National Openweight Championship. That match I just mentioned. The one and the only Matthew Justice joins us again. Hello, welcome back.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me again. Always great to be on the show, man.
We appreciate you joining us. How you been in the last 2 weeks since we talked to you?
Surviving, that's for sure. I've been making sure to do as much crazy shit as possible. That's for sure. Sorry if I'm not allowed to swear.
No, you're good. Go nuts.
Yeah, it's all good. Hey, you were in the War Games match at GCW. So let's kind of start there, and then we'll obviously talk about MLW. MLW. What was the War Games match for GCW? That Alley Catch is a jerk. Bully Ray was there. That was an overall insane match. But what was that whole experience like?
Matthew Justice was there, man. Most importantly, dude. I mean, that was my third War Games for GCW. So at this point, and I mean, I've done 2 of them in MLW as well. So it's always good to be back at any place that I've been before that I have history at, especially when obviously I'm a major component of the history of all those people and why they were fighting the way they were. So I'm happy to be back there to prove why I am who I am and what I do, man.
Is Effie okay? Like, is he okay?
Yeah, Effie's fine. Effie's always fine.
We love Effie. And
I think that this is only going to make Effie better than he ever was, I think. So
people are so mean to him. I don't get it. One of the nicest dudes ever.
Yeah, that's people usually are, they take advantage of the ones that are nicest.
Yeah, I don't like it. We gotta get Effie some. He's got good friends, but we gotta get people who stop being so mean to all these legends coming in and.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty easy to use us, as your mules doing all the hard work for you.
Yeah.
So you go off. You have a War Games match. You've had pit fight matches. You've been fighting people with dumpsters over the years. You've got a match against Bad Dude Tito at Lucha Apocalyptico for the National Openweight Championship, and it's a Falls Count Anywhere match. So really, the question is like, are you capable of having a normal, regular match? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's the best part about being as crazy as I am is that people lose sight that I have 18 and a half years of world-traveled, world-class experience in just about every place there is under the sun. And I've also delved into the underground more so than anyone I feel like is willing to. There's really no limits for me. It's just that in these high stakes moments, like, the title fight at a place like Major League Wrestling, it's going to be a lot more than just your technical prowess and abilities in the ring. You're going to have to empty the entire tank if you truly want to be great. And I'm willing to do that. And I've proven that everywhere. So I'd like to see Bad Dude Tito step up on Saturday and really make me work for it.
What's your mindset going into this match? Because it's called Lucha Apocalypto. There's a lot of Lucha influence on the show with Mystico, Titan, Esfinge. Hopefully I said that right. Luis Polito is going to yell at me. Atlantis Jr., Atlantis Sr. as well. So the Lucha influence is all over the card. You feel like you're on the Apocalypto side of the card. So what's your mindset going into this?
I love these cards. We did this before in Chicago. A lot of the MLW shows, they have a very heavy CMLL presence. I love the mix of the talent that we have on all of these shows. It's a great mix. But yeah, I definitely, I was just watching Apocalypto last night actually, and yes, I would totally agree. I am the Apocalypto part of this Lucha event.
I called it Apocalyptico because apparently I can't read my own notes.
Oh, it's all right, dude. That sounds pretty sick. That sounds like a metal band, honestly.
Well, where do you go? Well, now that we're on the topic, so Jeremy's being forced against his will to go to a metal festival in May, one that you probably heard of, and it's Sonic.
What, Sonic Temple? Yeah, that's a great.
You're gonna be there.
Are you going on Friday, man? That's a great lineup, dude.
I'm
Fridays.
going on.
You're going.
I am going on Friday.
Yeah, Fridays, dude. Fridays kill. I'll leave that up there for a minute, dude. Metallica, Rob Zombie, Alice Cooper, Testament, Exodus, Overkill, Mastodon, Acid Bath, Suicidal Tendencies. I can't read the rest of them, but I know it's just like every band in a row. It's like who wrote this lineup is straight out of my heart, dude.
It's absolutely wild.
So I am going on Friday. I don't know any of these bands. I don't know any songs by any of these bands. None of them play a cover of Creep by Smashing Pumpkins. So I'm not sure what I'm getting myself into here. Can you help me through this? Like what I'm kind of in store for?
I mean, it's going to be great, dude. This is like a loaded day, man. Like even me, I looked at this lineup and I'm like, how would I make it through this day? Like number one, my knees, I'm an old man. But just the sheer amount of energy that I would need to just expel during this entire day of music, I would have to load up, man. But I mean, of course, check out Metallica. I mean, the entire main stage is all legendary. Alice Cooper puts on a great show. Rob Zombie's always fun. Testament, Exodus, and Overkill is such a great one. Just three of the best thrash bands still going today. They might have never got their complete due because they weren't Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, Anthrax, but those guys are like the next three best thrash bands after those big names that everyone so commonly hears, man. And then Acid Baths, they're coming back. This is the first time they've played in over 20 years, so that's awesome, dude.
So
but
that's
I
the
could
main
go.
reason.
I mean, that's just one day. I mean, you go across the rest of these days. There's great bands. I mean, Armored Saints playing on the day you're going on the most random side stage, and they're like an 80s, like not like they're like hard rock to me, but that's awesome. They're wedged in this lineup on the Cannibal Corpse stage, and like they tour with Wasp in Queensryche, but like this is killer, dude.
So the main reason I'm going is for Acid Bath. That the wife is a huge acid bath fan. So like the moment this thing got announced,
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, I saw this in Sick New World. They were on that one in Vegas as well.
Yes,
Very
that was the
exciting.
first thing that got announced. It's just like acid bath is playing, and she's like, "It's in Vegas." I was like, "Well, can we make this work?" She's like, "I don't know."
That festival is outrageously expensive. I think the cheapest ticket is like $800, man.
Oh, jeez, yeah, we definitely couldn't make that one work. But yes, when we found out that they were coming to Sonic Temple, which is Columbus, not too far away from us, it was like, all right, how do we make this work? We're gonna make it work, and she's very excited for this. I don't know what I'm getting myself into. I can't name you a song.
You'll have fun, man. You'll have fun, especially if your lady likes this music, dude. It'll be a good day.
See, I'm going to support her. She's gonna have a good time.
Yeah. Oh, it'll be fun, dude. It'll be fun.
I fully expect to have a good time. I'm also very afraid of just what I'm gonna have to
just get in there, man, and see what it's all about, dude. Even if you're not totally a metalhead or whatever, just it's fun.
Do you think Jeremy could survive a wall of death? I'm dangerously curious.
Stop it.
Yeah, man, it's all mental, just believe you'll survive and you will survive.
Yeah, and people pick you up in the pit anyway. Like that's kind of the way.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it, man. Real metalheads, it's all about the community of it. So
it's all mental. My mental sucks. All right, like what are we doing here?
No, man, you got to read the Art of War by Sun Tzu, man.
I don't have any great mental preparation out here. I can't. No, absolutely not.
What was the last metal band you saw? What was the last live show you saw, Matthew?
I just went and saw Suicidal Tendencies in Orange County on Saturday. Actually,
amazing.
My buddies at Circle 6 Wrestling took me, and it was pretty awesome, dude. I love Suicidal. I haven't seen them in probably 11 years. I met Mike Muir, who's the singer of Suicidal Tendencies. He's a great idol of mine throughout my youth and my adult life. I also met Robert Trujillo from Metallica, who was in Suicidal Tendencies before he was in Metallica. His son is the bassist of Suicidal right now, so he was there to watch the show. I got to meet him as well, so it was a really cool night. And before that, I saw Down, who's one of my favorite bands. That was a couple months ago in New Mexico. Charged me up, fueled me up for my latest conquests, because music is definitely the fuel that fuels me for all of my adventures in life and wrestling.
I didn't know if you had a follow up on the meeting Metallica and everything there.
Oh, I already know with Robert Trujillo, like his son is like it's a kid. The guy's like,
I think his son's only like 20 years old, and I mean he's already been in Suicidal for like 2 years or something, probably longer, honestly. So it's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool to see him being dad on the side of the stage, just like filming, just not like you think of him as the guy in Metallica, and then you see him just being dad. It's pretty cool.
Oh, I can't. Out of my depth here. Have you heard of "Creep" by Smashing Pumpkins?
Stop it.
I mean, I like the song "Zero" by Smashing Pumpkins, dude.
No, I don't know if I've heard this. Have I heard this song, Joel?
I feel like we touched on this last time we talked, dude. Because I remember saying I know "Creep" by TLC.
Oh, see, there we go. Yeah. I can't remember who I asked my questions to.
Yeah, come on, man. Don't give me these stock questions. No.
So, what do you want to accomplish with your career in wrestling? What are we doing?
Jump off balconies eternally, dude. That's it.
We were thinking of having a conversation that once we got the wrestling out of the way, and it's not important, but like we just had you on the show a couple of weeks ago. We're like, let's just ask a bunch of non-wrestling stuff.
Well,
music
is just as important. Music, sports, those are just as important to me and my influences and my performance as wrestling. My influences in music have almost really propelled me farther than my influences in wrestling. So
all right, let's talk.
It all goes hand in hand.
I don't think we talked sports last time. So what kind of sports are you following? What teams are you following?
Well, I mean, I grew up in Cleveland, so obviously I'm ingrained with the Cleveland sports. I'm a big baseball guy, so the Cleveland Indians growing up were always my favorite team. Cleveland Guardians now, but obviously I'm so busy with wrestling, it's hard to maintain like casual sports watching like I used to. And then on top of, I also follow wrestling like a fan and like a business insider as well. So between all that stuff, but just I love great athletes and great performers and anything that's inspired me over the years. I have all my favorite athletes throughout my childhood, just people that taught me how to go second gear before I knew what second gear was.
All right, name me some athletes who you followed and took inspiration from.
Dude, I hate, the one thing I hate, I will say, it sucks. Growing up, my favorite athlete was Brett Favre. I love the Green Bay Packers. I know people kind of like turned on Favre over the years or whatever because of life, but I loved Brett Favre when I was a kid. Obviously, the Cleveland Indians in the 90s were a legendary powerhouse. I could name the whole roster: Jim Thome, Albert Bell, Manny Ramirez, all those guys. Like, how can you not like want to just go crush home runs when you watch those guys growing up? Yeah, just LeBron. I'm from Cleveland, so LeBron. I mean, regardless what you think, he is the GOAT, dude. He's done so much for our area and just in general, man. Just making you feel like you can. Being from Cleveland, you grow up and you're like you're good, but you're never great. LeBron made us realize our greatness, and it's so nice, dude.
Yeah, unfortunately, Brett Favre sucks nowadays.
Yeah, well, the Packers won the Super Bowl in 1996, so it was pretty cool when I was 8 years old. I'm not like promoting, his scandals in life. Or I just said, he was a man. He was this true gunslinger. I love that attitude. That definitely plays into the way I perform too.
Being from Cleveland, you have to be tough mentally. Johnny Gargano has talked about this of like,
it's just one of those things, man. It's the Midwest, that hardworking blue collar spirit. Nothing's handed to you. Every time you think you got, you get ahead, reality snaps you right back to it.
You've had to follow the Browns. You've had to follow the Guardians, Indians. Like you're used to being disappointed.
Yeah, but that's like I said. It's like you're good because we've reached right there. Just never good enough, Great, good at everything, great at nothing. I'm not saying I'm great at what I do, but that's just, it's one of those things when you grow up and I was at World Series Game 7 in 2016 when they lost. I remember watching it, Game 7 in 1997 when they lost as a 9-year-old. 95. I remember watching the games when they were set I was 7. Like that's 3 World Series in my lifetime that I've seen them lose. It's a bummer, man.
In 2016, that was just the sports gods being like, we gave you LeBron and that title.
Yeah,
we ain't giving you another one.
2016 was crazy because we won the NBA championship, and then 2 months later or whatever it is, we're in the World Series, and the Lake Erie Monsters, the minor league hockey team, won the Calder Cup that year as well. And Stipe won the UFC title all in like a 4-month span. So it was just, we were finally getting our due, man. And then they pulled the plug on that one. But also the Cubs, how long? They're long tortured, even longer than Cleveland. So
Lake Erie Monsters legend head coach Jared Bednar, now the coach of the Colorado Avalanche. So
I see. I haven't followed them enough to know that, but that's awesome, dude. Yes, I know they're. I know I did.
Oh, I was just gonna say yes. I know who the head coach was for that year because he now coaches my favorite hockey team. So that's the only reason. 2016 sucked for me as a sports fan. I was a Panthers fan, lost in the Super Bowl. I was a Thunder fan. We blew a 3-1 lead. 2016 sucked.
Well, I know, dude, because I thought we were gonna play the Thunder in the NBA Finals.
Me too.
But hey, it made for a great story because we came back 3-1 and history.
I was happy for Cleveland and coming back because I didn't like the Warriors after they beat us.
Tell me about it. I watched the Cavs play them 5 years in a row in the NBA Finals, man.
And then they stole Kevin Durant from us because he's a bitch. So what can you do? Go ahead, Joel.
Oh, I'm a hockey fan, so I got no dog in this race. I got nothing. I'm a Sens fan. I'm a Ducks fan.
Paul Kariya and Teemu Salami, man. Talk about 2 guys that inspired me as a kid. There you go.
There we go. Yeah, great team until.
I love that Anaheim Mighty Ducks of yesteryear.
Yeah, now they just got to sell the team. Get it on out of here. Listen, I don't want to take up too much of your
I'm
time.
glad they brought. I know we're not supposed to be talking about this. They're telling me to come on here and promote Lucha Apocalypto. I'm talking about the Anaheim Mighty Ducks.
People are going to know you, and then they're going to want to watch MLW. To
They
support
did,
you.
yeah. I mean, this is all part of the mesh, the fabric, the mix, the recipe of what made me. I mean, the Anaheim Mighty Ducks did just bring back some sick throwback jerseys of the OG Mighty Ducks jerseys. That's pretty cool, dude.
I've got 7 Ducks jerseys, and I need to get one of those new ones. Even though the
And
team
also the Anaheim Pond WrestleMania 2000, the triple threat ladder match that eventually led to the TLC the next year. That's the shit.
my favorite part of that WrestleMania, my favorite stat is that there's only one singles match on that entire WrestleMania card.
What was it, like the Godfather versus? No, I'm trying to think what the opening matches of the card.
Not that one, but that was the opening match.
Yeah, okay, I was just yeah. Like Taz and stuff. I don't know.
It was the Cat versus Terry Runnels.
Oh wow.
My God.
And that was some type of
sticky
topless
face.
strip. Yeah, it was one of those Vince McMahon gimmicks, dude.
You said the Cat. I was like, Ernest Miller got a freaking. When you hit the Terry Reynolds, I was like, no, not
Ernest Miller's been I think a few of the MLW shows over the last couple of months, man. It's been pretty cool.
He rules. He's a lot of fun.
Yeah, he's the man, dude.
He's very.
Plus, I think of the wrestler, the movie, The Wrestler. I always think of he played. He played. Well, I forget the guy's name. The Ayatollah or whatever.
Yeah, the Ayatollah, the Sheik, one of those type of characters.
Yeah,
that was a great.
He's in a new movie, The Unbreakable Bunch, where it's wrestlers against aliens.
Oh wow! Okay, yeah, that sounds
Glacier
that sounds like a straight to Redbox movie, man.
It's on streaming platforms now. Glacier's in it. The Yeti is in this thing.
This is like Pro Wrestlers versus Zombies or whatever. You remember that movie that came out years ago?
Yes, yeah. It's it looks absolutely absurd, but it also looks fantastic in how absurd it actually is.
All right, before we get you out of here, now that the question's been broached, what kind of space alien monster animal would you want to wrestle in a straight to DVD feature?
I love Alien, the movie Alien. So bring the Xenomorph on. That's the greatest challenge too, I feel like. So I mean, I'd want to be challenged by the best.
Well, you're challenged.
I totally harness my inner Ellen Ripley too. So
your challenge this weekend at Lucha Apocalypto. I'm going to get it right this time. It's on Saturday. It's Bad Dude Tito. You're going to face him in a Falls Count Anywhere match for the MLW National Openweight Championship.
Falls Count Anywhere. That's the most important part, man. That makes it's so exciting. Falls Count Anywhere. And if you know me, that's just like
anywhere.
That's asking for it. Yeah, anywhere. That could be the roof, the street. You never know.
That's what always disappoints me about the Falls Count Anywhere match. Like it still ends in the ring too often. Like, go to the bar down the street. That's where the fall.
I don't think you have to worry about that happening with me,
that's
man.
what I like to hear.
Yeah, we're gonna be watching that show. We're gonna see a finish out on the street. Yeah. Hopefully, no cars in the way, and we're gonna be like, we wanted that shit. That's the.
It's free. It's free on the MLW YouTube channel, and you absolutely can't beat that because their shows have been so killer lately, and it's free on YouTube. YouTube's a great platform. I love it. I watch it all the time myself. You can watch on your phone, your TV. It's so easy. It's up for replay on demand. Like, it's the best.
And it's going to be there, and it's going to be live. So go check it out. That's this Saturday. If you're in Chicago and you want to go to Cicero Stadium,
it's sold out. Sold out. It's sold out, and last time it sold out, they expanded seats even further this time, and it's sold out. So the only way to watch is on YouTube if you didn't already get your tickets. But also that tells you if you want to come see Major League Wrestling live, you got to get your tickets in advance because we've sold out every show this year. So
you've heard it from the man. Put yourself over. Tell them where to find you.
My name is Matthew Justice. On my social media, Thrash Justice, THRASH Justice. And my website's also thrashjustice.com. I got some cool shirts if you want to support me. But just love on pro wrestling and talk about what you like and not about what you don't like.
We love it. The one and only Matthew Justice. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you guys. Great talking to you guys too.
Always great.
If I'm based quite a ways away, so I'm sure I'll probably do some more interviews with you guys. But I'm not.
I was gonna say,
yeah, I need to. You need to let me know what you think about that show, dude. Enjoy.
Oh,
it.
100%. I was about to say, I sure will have you on before one shot.
Yeah, I'm sure. I've been on how many times in the last month or whatever. So
we'll just make you a recurring character every other week. You come and join
every
us.
MLW show. We'll have Matthew on, and I'll keep asking you about Creep by Smashing Pumpkins, and we'll just live in that.
I'm sure I'll give it a few listens, dude. You know.
Thank you so much, man.
Thanks, dude.
Take care. Bye. Oh, the one and only Matthew Justice. That's listen. When someone comes and joins us every couple of weeks, you got to have those conversations about sports, about music, about everything. Dude rules. Come on, go check out the show. Go on the MLW YouTube channel is there. Jeremy puts over the shows often because they run at a reasonable amount of time. And the shows are
not that I got no beef with MLW. Again, they do good shows, and they're typically fairly quick, overdone. I was looking at the schedule for this week, and I was like, "Oh, there's no major events. This is gonna be a nice week. This is gonna be a quiet week. This is gonna be great right here." And then it's like, "Oh fuck, there's a New Japan Strong show on Friday. Oh no, there's an MLW show on Saturday, which is like fine." This show doesn't start until 10, Joel. 10 o'clock on Saturday. It's like, oh, why? Why are we doing a 10 o'clock show? What are we doing, MLW?
Because it's Chicago.
That doesn't mean you start at 10. Started at 8. That's 7 o'clock for Chicago. Chicago's not it's not the West Coast. What are we doing? Why are we starting at 10 o'clock? It's 1 hour behind. You can start it at 8. That's still 7 o'clock for Chicago. That's okay.
There's probably something going on.
No, what's going on is they just want to fuck with me.
Well, that's true. I think they also want to, film some television before they start the show.
Film it after.
No, you got to make sure that the Lucha talent. Listen, it's a Lucha show. Lucha shows never start on time, so this is just them getting ahead of it. They told them it starts at 7, but they know that they won't fill the arena until 10 o'clock.
It's
the most CMLL coded show you've ever seen. And 5 people who may be in this chat or watching afterwards, they get it. You bring Luis in here, he'll be like, oh, yeah, you're right. Absolutely right. Bring Lucha Blog, he'll be like, oh, yeah, he's got it. He knows the deal. That's how it goes.
It's I'm going to have to watch it. It's going to be fine. I'm sure it's going to be a good show. I just want these shows to start at a reasonable hour. I don't care that they're all MLW does short shows, which is good. They usually they're in and out by 2.5 hours, which is fantastic. But that still means 12:30. And I don't have a problem with the length of these shows. That's what people can talk about. Oh, why you're complaining about a 4-hour wrestling show? That's the length that bothers me. It's the friggin' time that it starts. You start this show at 8 o'clock. You want to go 3.5 hours. You're still wrapped by 11:30. Okay, fine. I'm a little forgiving on that, but they got something against me. I'm with you.
Maybe they should just, we should have someone else cover the show for you. Right. Sorry, I tried. Ryan Lambert sent a super chat saying, popping in to show my love to y'all. Hope you're doing well, Ryan. We love you back. Hope you're having a good day, or at least having the best day you can. And Ten Rizza sent a super chat as well saying, check out the Aussie band Parkway Drive. I know them. They're an incredible band. They're really good. Love the new Slash album, and shout out to Quincy Jones, true icon and legend. We lost Quincy Jones this week. I know that the Grapsody guys are absolutely going to talk about Quincy for a while because, man, he did everybody's records. It wasn't just MJ. Dude was working with Dizzy Gillespie. Oh my God, Ray Charles. He worked with every single big time artist you can think of over the years. Quincy passing away recently was a big hit for the industry, the music industry. That is. I'm tired.
R.I.P. Quincy Jones. It was very sad that happened to Quincy Jones, and I can't say I'm super familiar with his overall work. So yeah, check out Grapsody. I know he had a huge influence and a lot of music. So I'm sure. I know I've heard his stuff, and I know I've heard stuff that he influenced, but I can't say that I was listening to Quincy Jones on the regular or anything like that.
Well, if you were listening to, what's his face, Michael Jackson, then you definitely have the Quincy influence.
I didn't listen to a ton of Michael Jackson.
Oh, all right. Well, I did. So, and I play a lot of MJ stuff when I was doing the cruise ships and all that. So, hey, I learned about Quincy throughout the years. We got to finish up the Raw talk with the USO stuff, and then we got to talk about the week, the next couple of days. Well, really just tonight's shows. But Sammy Uso, not so Usi, but almost Usi, just doesn't want to be put on trial again. He wants to be a man on his own island, just like Jey Uso wanted his own island with the tribal chief. The original one. This was a really good segment. I quite enjoyed it. Sammy was fired up, had a great time, had a great showing. Again, they love him over there, so it worked out. And the Usos, they did their best to match the enthusiasm and match the energy of this whole thing. It's a good beat. I think this was the right spot to be in. Sammy coming out and essentially being like you and I talked about it. I told you, he said, I came out because I saw Jay was in peril. I didn't give a shit about anyone else, but then I started feeling a little something and the energy was there, but then I pulled back because I didn't want to go back to the way things were. This was good stuff. And Sami Zayn is right. People are saying in the chat, he was right. That's the way it was. And now you got Jey Uso saying, well, pull up on Friday and we'll have a chat, 4 of us. So I like where this is going. What do you think of this particular segment on Raw?
It was good. And it hit the beat that it needed to. They got to talk to Roman on Friday. Jay saying like I was wrong. Sammy is family. It's Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, Sammy Uso. The crowd was into it. Crowd chanting Sammy Uso. It was a good beat for the story. The big segment's going to be on Friday with Roman, and what Roman's going to say. How Sammy's going to respond to that. That's the big segment here. That's a segment that, sorry for all the other segments on that show, you might get some stuff cut because that's going to go as long as they need it to go. And they're going to get some time on that one. And they should. Like it's going to be a big story. It's as far as just the totality in WWE. Like it's the first time Sammy and Roman have really spoken in this type of setting and conversation since everything that happened a year and a half ago at WrestleMania or before WrestleMania, at Elimination Chamber, at Rumble and all that stuff. So like, it's going to be, they're going to get as much time as they need for this thing.
Do you give them the first 25, 30 minutes or you give them the last 25, 30 minutes?
I'd give them the first because like I'd underwrite the show. And I don't know if that's possible, if that's something they can do. Then obviously they can do it, but I would underwrite it and just be like, yeah, we basically have a 5 to 10 minute buffer here to where if they go 5 to 10 minutes over, it's okay. And if they don't, if they hit their marks, then hey, we'll just add on time to a match, or we'll air this video. We'll do whatever we need to do to fill that time. They have plenty of options to fill that time. But I would like right now, they don't really have anything announced for this show outside of Cody's going to be on it. Grayson Waller effect with Motor City Machine Guns. Like there's not a ton on the show. So I'd probably keep it that way. Announce a couple matches, but yeah, underwrite it just and give them, because you don't want to give them the final bit of it, because that's what happened when they did The Rock, and The Rock had to cut all this stuff short. And like, I know, hey, be professional, hit your marks and everything, but that's also the beauty of pro wrestling sometimes. Like, hey, when the crowd's feeling it and everybody in the ring is kind of feeling it for these segments, like you have the ability to kind of run a little bit longer with that stuff.
Yeah, my feeling is there are 2 major segments or story beats that will come out of this Friday SmackDown. One is the Bloodline stuff. The other one is what's going to go on with KO, Randy Orton, and then inevitably Cody Rhodes as well. Like I said, I'm 99.9% sure that someone's going to use that ring and knock out Cody, and he's either going to bleed or not, and that's going to be a match that they set up for War Games, for Survivor Series. And it's probably, I don't know if it's Kevin Owens anymore because they did the whole, non-start to the match at Crown Jewel, but it feels like they'll continue that story regardless this Friday, and that's another one that'll get some time on it, because you got to tell the story with Nick Aldis, and what's the fallout from this? What's the is Kevin Owens going to get suspended? Is Nick Aldis going to try and find both men? Is Adam Pearce going to try and get involved? I know you want to stay in his lane, all that stuff, but those are the 2 main stories that are going to have to have some sort of beat going into Friday. So looking forward to those two. But yeah, Sami kind of needs to be part of the Bloodline, and the Bloodline needs Sami. It's a good reciprocal story, but they have to get there in a way where, you know, both parties admit there's some wrongdoing, and then they got to work together. And I don't know if this story with the Bloodline working in the War Games match is going to be, and I'm talking the OG Bloodline, the Usos and Roman and Sami. I don't know if the story is going to be, we're all just going to get together for this one time and it's one night only and we're never doing this shit again. Or is this a reconciliation for Roman on his way to an actual babyface appearance? Because again, he ain't a babyface. Roman Reigns getting cheered, but he hasn't done anything to make you think that he's actually a good guy. He's just the guy, to use his own vernacular.
He is a babyface.
But how is he a babyface?
Because he goes like this.
No, it does make you a babyface. It's true. If I walk down the street and I lift up my arm and I put the one up, people do, that's right. Hey, you go. You're a good guy.
The crowd follows along. And
That's
the
right.
crowd all goes like this.
If I go like this, they don't, because, you know, unless if I do this, then I'm just Danny Burch.
Or a crook.
No, I am not a crook. Is what that's what it's supposed to be. So Jason saying, he said yeet, therefore babyface. That's true. That's how it works. That's how it was supposed to be. Now when he comes out and he says, feeling oozy, that's when you know that's cementing the babyface turn right there.
I'm so excited for this segment on Friday. Like I don't think they're gonna do. I think it's gonna be a serious tone. This doesn't feel like it's gonna be the hey, let's kind of crack joke type of thing. They're gonna reference Uzi though. The crowd's gonna cheer. The crowd's gonna chant it.
They were on their way on Monday doing that.
Yeah. So like they're gonna reference it. And I don't. It should just go out there with the goal of getting Jay to break. It should just be hilarious. Who cares about actual like accomplish anything? Just get Jay to break.
They might actually do that, and get Roman too if you can.
It's gonna be good, man. Sami Bloodline stuff was fantastic. It breathed new life in that whole thing, and so then bringing it back around on this, it should be a good segment on Friday.
When do they do Tribal Court again?
I don't think they're gonna come together on Friday. I don't either.
I think the other Bloodline's gonna get involved.
Yeah, I think that the Bloodline's gonna be involved, and I think that we're gonna get what is it? We're gonna get why can't I? Oh, Paul Heyman. Not on Friday, but we're gonna get Heyman as the guy who brings everybody together.
I still have this feeling again that he's going to come out at Survivor Series. That's going to be his big return. But again, like I'm not arguing for or against it. It's just my gut feeling is he'll show up during that particular entrance. That'd be good. Yeah. There's a tribal conviction this time. I sentence you to 4 months on main event. Really? You promise? I can go home early? Let's go.
Shout out to Blitzkrieg Pro, who just said Jake Hager will no longer be appearing on December 4th. On top of sponsors no longer being willing to work with him, we also just have to do what we think is right for our roster and fans.
Hey, and speaking of which, shout out to Alexia Nicole. Shout out to Gabriel Fuerza. Shout out to I almost called him Vince Vaughn. Vaughn Vertigo. Who are these people? You may not know. They're Canadian talent. They're Ontario talent. They've come out and very rightfully so denounced Destiny Wrestling in Mississauga, Ontario. There's a reason why I don't talk about Destiny Wrestling. I've never been to a show, and every time I've gone, I thought about going, and something's always come up. Well, this time they decided that hiding Marty Scurll as an opponent for a title match was a good idea, and they hid it from the talent too. So I want to give a shout out to those 3 wrestlers who stood their ground, said they're no longer going to be at Destiny, and for telling Destiny that shit's not right. And I will say it again, that shit's not right. It's one thing to book a talent. It's another thing to book a talent, brazenly hide them, and not make them appear until their match when that talent has a history of being called out for things that they did and rightfully cast away from wrestling. So if you're thinking of going to Destiny Wrestling, listen, you can, but I'm going to tell you, don't. There are so many better wrestling companies, promotions in Toronto that you can go see. There's Junction City Wrestling. There's Northern Crown. There's Greektown, and I roll with them, and they're not perfect, but they've been a lot better with who they book and why they book and what they do. So give you them. There's Smash Wrestling. They run between London, Ontario, and Toronto. They're working at the Rec Room in Toronto now. Go check out them. They've been around for a very long time. But Destiny, don't bother. Shit like that, that's not okay.
Wrestling world just sucks.
You bet. But hey, when you see where they settle, you know what they're doing. Anyway, NXT tonight is in Philadelphia, the 2300 Arena. You think RVD is actually going to show up? Because the advertisements don't really include him anymore. If he shows up in New Hampshire tonight, I am going
Are they not advertising him?
Apparently on the Monday video, the promotional stuff, he wasn't on the commercial.
No.
That could change. He's not part of the Javon Evans Wesley stuff anymore. That's just a one-on-one match. They didn't announce that he's a special guest referee, which is hilarious because everyone's a special guest referee this week. He's just if he goes to AEW tonight, cackling. I'm going to lose my mind laughing.
Yeah. Well,
he was in the video with the old ECW theme on socials. Well, he's a part of the history of ECW.
Right.
Doesn't mean he's a part of the show tonight. It's like I said, he'll go to where the highest bidder lies. I don't know what the contract is with him when it comes to his booking. If he signs something before he appears, that keeps him from going somewhere else the day he's supposed to appear. I don't know. It's just very funny with him because he'll do anything. God bless.
You give RVD, wherever the money is, that's where he's gonna go. Bless him. I respect it.
What else is going on in NXT? Let's pull up this. You've got that big main event. Trick Williams and Bubba Ray Dudley taking on Ethan Page and Ridge Holland. That's a thing that's happening.
Yeah.
Main event anyway. Is it okay? But is this Bubba Ray gonna turn on Trick and they're gonna do a little thing, or are we actually just gonna do Bubba Ray screws up? Ridge Holland gets the pin on Trick, and that's just gonna manifest Trick versus Ridge Holland for the title in a few weeks.
No. I think Bubba and Trick are just gonna win. Devon's gonna interfere. They're just gonna. He's beaten Ethan Page. Like, he doesn't need to do anything further with Ethan Page. Ridge Holland ain't the guy to be the top challenger. He's just not. They want him to be. He doesn't feel like that guy. So you just do Bubba, Trick, Devon standing tall. The ECW crowd's cheering. It's all good. That's it. Like, Wesley, you don't need to overthink this.
Trick Williams at the end of the show.
Yeah, fine. Wesley, Trick Williams, fine. But you don't need to have Trick lose. You don't. I guess if Bubba loses, that's fine because he shouldn't be winning, but I assume Trick would get the victory here, not Bubba, but maybe Bubba gets, I don't know.
If Bubba shows up and becomes a heel and does a short thing, no thank you. Just don't want to.
We're getting a Bubba Ray Dudley match in November 2024 on NXT.
And there are people, by the way, to go after Trick. We just talked about Wesley's one of them. Rich Holland, yes, not the guy, but he's at least a baddie of the month. And Obafemi's another guy that people are going to wait for. Bubba is not taking the pin in this match.
He should.
He should. But I feel like they'll just have Ridge pin Trick Williams and be like, book! Ridge Holland pin the champion! Oh, shocky, docky, and then we're going to have to sit there and talk about how at Deadline or War Games weekend, it's going to be Trick Williams versus Ridge Holland.
I don't think that the show ends with the heel standing tall though. I think it ends with a nice babyface victory and the crowd's all happy and they chant ECW in 2024.
That's fair. Hey, we'll see what happens tonight. They are still saying that Rob Van Dam will appear, so Listen, my joke was always that he'll just go to New Hampshire. But if he's going to be on the show, he'll be on the show. I don't know what he's going to do at this point. Probably going to be the outside enforcer for Javon Evans and Wes Lee. But meanwhile, you've got Francine in the audience. You got Dawn Marie as the referee for the Lola Vice and Jada Parker hardcore match. That should be fun. Gonna watch those two beat the shit out of each other. And what else? Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade, Fatal Influence. You're going to take on Julia, Stephanie Vaquer, Kalani Jordan, Zarya, and Jordan Grace. This is going to be a fun 10-woman tag.
Yeah, the 10-woman tag I'm really looking forward to. I hope they get a good amount of time and everyone gets to shine. I imagine they'll try to do the best they can to give everyone some real good shine in this match.
There's a part of me that was hoping that this would be the main event. I don't see why it wouldn't. It's a really big match, not only in terms of the amount of contenders, but also just the quality of the match. You could do that. Might just be the crossover. Might just be the 9 o'clock match. And that's whatever. That is what it is. What else? Oh, and then Ava's going to make an announcement. I feel like that's just going to be the announcement of Deadline.
Oh, I think like this being the main event could work. Not the Ava announcement, the 10-1.
Yeah, no, make that the announcement. Make that the main event. Unless actually the way it would work is that if she's actually going to announce a women's War Games match, and it would be after these women fight, and then that sets up a War Games match. That's the way that Ava becomes the main event. But regardless, continue your thought.
I think it should be the main event regardless. Like for the NXT audience, for the NXT demo, this is the biggest match. Bubba Ray Dudley, like that's for the hometown crowd. That's for the live audience. Like you can get away with doing that in the middle segment there, like, and it'll be fine. But for like your actual program and building stuff forward, like this feels like the biggest match. I'd put it on last and build it, promote it throughout the night. It's very curious how they're gonna. It does feel like both NXT and AEW are just kind of doing their shows, which is good. It's a one-off Wednesday Night War. It's not like they got to keep competing against each other moving forward. But NXT is doing their show with all the ECW tie-ins because they're at the ECW arena. But it still feels like it's just like an NXT show. It's just we've kind of shoehorned some ECW stuff in there, which feels a little bit more natural. Not the Bubba Ray Dudley stuff so much, but it feels a little bit more natural than like, hey, the Undertaker is going to come out. Hey, Cody is going to come out. Like that felt very, we know what we're up against. We know what's going on here. We're going to do everything we can. AEW just feels like they're just doing their show. Like they got some big matches announced, but for the most part, it all makes sense within the story of what they've been telling.
What's the big difference between this time and last time?
What do you mean?
Between the last time not when they were head to head, because that was most recent, but I'm talking when the last time they had to load up their cards and all that stuff. You know what the difference was. They hadn't announced television deals yet.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
There were no media rights on the table. There was nothing to promote. There were no numbers to worry about. Now the numbers have come home to roost, as it were. Now they can just run their program, which isn't bad. Again, I'm happy. Like the 2300 and doing that, the activation's fine. As long as it's not anywhere beyond tonight. Like again, we joke about Bubba coming in and like doing a program with Trick. Like don't.
No.
Just end it there. Have it. It's NXT CW and that's it. Have it be a one night fun little nostalgia act because your show is on a Wednesday instead of a Tuesday. Just move along from there. And then with AEW, like they don't have to worry. This is their normal time slot on their normal night. Their show is what it is. They have stories to continue telling as they get closer to Full Gear in a couple of weeks. Just have it go forward. It makes sense to just let the fans choose the show they want to watch. And inevitably, like most fans are going to watch both. That's just what happens. Watch them tomorrow. Or watch TNA.
I'll be watching the Thunder against the Nuggets.
You don't want to watch Speedball Mike Bailey versus Moose for the X Division Championship.
That's the match that's happening. What time is the Thunder Nuggets?
That's the match that's happening on Thursday. It's really fun. Look forward to that match. We're going to talk about that one. Not at all. Let's talk about AEW Dynamite real quick. We've got the Hurt Syndicate. They're going to appear. That's Bobby Lashley, MVP, and Shelton Benjamin. Will Bobby Lashley sign his AEW contract? Will Tony Khan allow it? Oh, that's still funny to me. But it'll be nice. I hope they set that up, and of course, set up the Swerve and Lashley story and the match that they'll hopefully be doing at Full Gear. That'll be good. We got anything you want to add about the Hurt Syndicate show up?
I'm very curious if Bobby Lashley. I hope he doesn't sign. I hope he's like, no. Why am I going to sign this contract? I just show up anyway. I get my music anyway.
Yeah, you guys don't have enough money to pay me. I've been telling people in the media that all week. Do you have money? They drive a dump truck full of money, a literal dump truck full of money, and Bobby just says, "Not enough. Not enough." Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy team up, take on Claudio Castagnoli and Pac. You have to assume that Moxley is not too far behind in this one. This will be a fun little tag match. Is this opening up the show?
I gotta look at the rest of the card to see.
It's Orange Cassidy.
No, they're gonna open with a talking segment. That's what they always open with nowadays.
So Hurt Syndicate's gonna come out first. Is what we're doing.
Maybe like they have opened too much with talking lately. Like, I hope we do get a wrestling match to open this show, and I think the Darby OC match would be good. Even the Ricochet match, because we're all assuming it's Ospreay. Like that'd be fun to open.
I think it's RVD.
That'd be hilarious if it is, honestly.
Cackle.
Hilarious. But like we've had too much like talking opening the show. Like they got to get back to getting right to the matches. That was something that AEW was different from WWE. And now it's literally been like the last 3 weeks or so. And going back to before Wrestle Dream, it was a lot of talking segments opening the show. Get back to just kicking off with a hot match.
And again, Darby and Orange Cassidy are like the perennial openers for Dynamite for a long time. So I could see this being the opening match. And again, it'll flow into a talking segment because you have to assume that Mox and the crew are going to get involved and there'll be some sort of beatdown interaction, whatever. Yuta, Moxley, Darby, Orange, Claudio, Pac. Like there'll be something while Mox talks. Like it's just going to be part of it. So I'd rather do that. Or you can have Christian come out and open the show because he's going to do a thing with Hook. They're going to talk about Taz being laid out by the patriarchy.
Yeah.
Hook and AR Fox are about to be a tag team.
That doesn't sound great.
Oh, it seems inevitable. Jamie Hayter versus Penelope Ford is a match that's happening. Good to see Penelope.
Yeah, that'd be fine. I hope Penelope shows out in this. It's been a while since she's been in the ring, so very possible there's some real rust there. But I hope they get some time and get to show out here.
Penelope Ford, always my favorite. Yeah, you mentioned Takeshita and Fletcher versus versus Ricochet and TBA. You think it's Ospreay. What do you think? There's an opportunity maybe for Mark Davis, if he is good to go, to come back and be the surprise partner for Ricochet.
Okay, so Mark Davis is the prize. The thing with if it's Ospreay, it's tough to envision who's taking the fall here because you don't really want to beat Fletcher this quickly into his turn in New Persona. Takeshita, I guess Ricochet can pin Takeshita, and that sets up the title match. You don't really want to pin Ricochet because then it's like, okay, why are you going to give him a title shot? Like, this is what you've been building. He's going to get the title shot. Ospreay is pretty bulletproof to where he could probably take the loss. And maybe that plays into, Fletcher pinning Ospreay and Fletcher showing like, I have changed. Mark Davis is a guy who you could actually put in this match, take a loss, and it'll be fine. And you actually advance some stories with that. So I'm not mad at Mark Davis potentially being the other guy in this match. I don't think it's going to happen, but maybe it will. And I think it would make some sense too.
Yeah, it's a mind game story. It's basically Ricochet plays mind games with Kyle Fletcher, which not as sensical because he has a problem with Kyle Fletcher, but he wants the international championship, and that's with Konosuke Takeshita. So my feeling was like, because we've seen Mark Davis a few times, it felt like maybe he'll show up for this, but again, maybe it's also just me hoping he's cleared so that we can kind of get him back in the ring and doing this. And I remember when the Fletcher stuff happened, I was like, how does Dunkzilla feel about all this? And now we're finding out how he feels about it. So I want to see that move forward. But Ospreay is Ospreay.
When the Fletcher stuff happened, Mark Davis was like, I can't believe they announced that I'd signed with this company while I was injured.
That was the best day of my life. It's still stupid. They should have been
Stop
bigger.
it.
It should have been a bigger thing.
Stop it.
Never. Adam Cole takes on Malachi Black. Who's gonna wonk the finish? Are they gonna go to a clean finish, or is Malachi Black gonna say that doesn't work for me, brother?
Nah, I think Cole just wins.
Yeah. Does Roddy get involved, or does Roddy finally find out who his second opponent's going to be? It looks like he's going through Shane Taylor Promotions,
Sure.
while Adam Cole goes through House of Black.
Sure.
Why not? Fight Without Honor. This might actually be the main event. The Learning Tree versus the Conglomeration. This is the most collision ass main event you could put on a Dynamite.
It's not going to be the main event, but
It's a hardcore match. It could be, and it's Jericho.
no, they're not going to put this on last. Why are they going to put this on last?
Because it's a title, not on the line, but there's a title in the match. I know the international.
They're either doing Darby and the Darby match last, or the Takeshita match last.
No, I agree with you. We'll see.
It's probably crossover.
Pile driver saying it's collision AF, and it really is. It's the most collision main event you can think of.
Yeah, this is probably crossover.
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, I'm mostly joking, but also I wouldn't be surprised just because Tony has a soft spot for Mark Briscoe. Obviously, Jericho has a lot to say. It's just it should be the crossover because it was the crossover last week, I think. Something like that. It was pretty. Yeah, it wasn't first. It wasn't last. So it's somewhere Ricky Bobby style. And that's Dynamite for this week.
That's gonna be crossover, and Chris Jericho's gonna be in a good mood.
Crisscross Jericho, but he doesn't really crisscross. Anyway, that's what's going on. That's what tomorrow is another day. There will be wrestling on today, tomorrow, and we'll be back on Friday to talk about it too. Is there anything you want to say before we head on out? Maybe get out early and enjoy the rest of our day, get some fresh air.
Everyone stay safe. Everyone do what you got to do. Everyone take time for yourself. Don't watch wrestling tonight if you don't want to. Go
take a nap.
Basketball. I feel like we might have to talk about this.
What did I miss?
This is from Dave. So,
well, is Backlash coming to Japan?
Man.
Do I want to see this?
Bruce Pritchard and Michael Hayes on temporary leave from WWE.
Okay.
I'm logging into my Wrestling Observer account that's not actually mine. It's my friend's who lets me use his to read the article.
Let's take a look.
Longtime WWE creative members Bruce Pritchard and Michael Hayes are currently on temporary leave, according to multiple sources in the company. Both are expected back, although the time frame was said to be indefinite. Pritchard's absence is officially said to be a family emergency. Hayes' absence is due to personal issues. So, there you go.
Okay, see what happens. But
we'll see what that means. I hope. I don't know what they're going through, but if it is family and personal issues, I just hope everything is well for them.
Yeah, exactly. And if they come back, they'll come back when they're ready. Anything else we need to cover for today?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. For Jeremy Lambert, I'm Joel Pearl, and I'm leaving Twitter. I'll be done Twitter as of Friday. That's the 8th of November. I'll be on Blue Sky. I'll be on Threads. It's Joel Pearl. It's the same thing.
God, how am I going to message you, Joel?
Message me on Blue Sky. Or
I'm not on the Blue Sky.
Get on the Blue Sky or just text me. Do that. I'm done. I'm done with the shit that's on that app. I don't need it. It's not part of my. I can't co-stream on this channel. Like I can't. So why bother? I'm locked down anyway because I don't like it. New people. I like the people I have. So people I have, go follow me on Threads. Go follow me on Blue Sky. And as of Friday, I'm not going to be using my Twitter account anymore. I'm probably going to nuke it, and that'll be that because I don't need it. No one's giving me $1 million.
No.
That's Joel with the G. It's actually JOELPEARL. Go watch NXT, go watch AEW, or don't. I don't care. Go outside. Just treat each other nicely. We know there's a lot going on, but we also know that there's a lot of levity in your world if you just step outside those ropes, okay? So for Jeremy Lambert, you know who I am. Ladies, gentlemen, and I swear to God, more than ever, friends beyond the binary. We'll see you in the next one. Cheers.